Fourth, the coherence model. And fifth, the discursive model. More than 20 years ago, I have argued that each of the first four models I mentioned indeed contains interesting points, but nevertheless, none of them is able to provide an adequate account of the rationality of legal argumentation. This shall not be repeated here. I will confine myself on two arguments in favor of the discursive model. The claim to correctness argument and the dual nature thesis. Section 1, the claim to correctness. The claim to correctness is the Archimedean point of the discursive model. The claim to correctness argument says that law necessarily raises a claim to correctness. The claim to correctness argument is highly contested. It is attacked by the most important living positivist, Joseph Ranz. It is attacked even by John Phillis, a natural law jurist, and its greatest enemy is Eugenio Boulogui from Buenos Aires. The battle with Buenos Aires began at 1993 and had three rounds. The first round has a simple structure. Boulogui attacked Alexy, and Alexy attacked Bouloguin's first attack. The second round became a little bit more complicated. Boulogui attacks Alexy's attack of Bouloguin's first attack. And then, also in the second round, Alexy attacks Bouloguin's attack of Alexy's attack of Bouloguin's first attack. Then, 20 years later, as the third round ended, Bouloguin attacks Alexy's attack of Bouloguin's attack of Alexy's attack of Bouloguin's first attack. And I attack back. That is, Alexy attacks Bouloguin's attack of Alexy's attack of Bouloguin's attack of Alexy's attack of Bouloguin's first attack. That is the state of affair in the moment we exchange emails, and perhaps there of this may come into existing fourth round with an even more complex structure. But this all can not be elaborated here. I simply want to say how contested the claim to correctness argument is. That is the first point. And how dangerous all this is for my theory. For if the critics of the claim to correctness arguments are right, then my theory would break down. Therefore, we have an important point. I here will only make some remarks. Here we are concerned with legal argumentation, not directly with legal decisions. The concept of argument, however, is necessarily connected with the concept of correctness. That is, of whether legal decisions raise a claim to correctness. I say this is not my point. My point, what I need here, is that legal argumentation raise the claim to correctness. You cannot have an argument without claiming correctness. It is not possible to put forward an argument without raising a claim to correctness. This is not contested. Section 2. The dual nature thesis. The argument from correctness implies the dual nature thesis. Positivistic conceptions of law reduce law to its factual or real dimension, which is defined by authoritative issuance first and social efficacy second. That is, as Joseph Ratz puts it, by social facts. The claim to correctness necessarily raised by law adds to this real dimension an ideal or critical dimension. This ideal dimension necessarily connects law with morality, that is, first and foremost, with justice. A non-positivistic concept of law emerges in this way. This non-positivistic concept of law finds its expression in 5 ideas. All implied by the claim to correctness. Perhaps I can show this at the board. The center of my theory is the claim to correctness. And the claim to correctness implies 5 theses. The first thesis is the idea of an outermost border of law. That is the Radbruch formula. Radbruch formula says extreme injustice is no law. The second is the idea of human rights. Third, the idea of deliberative democracy. Fourth, the special case thesis, which is our concern today. Special case thesis. And fifth, the principles theory, PT. You see, in this way, this comes into existence. And what is important, these 5 elements are implied all by law's claim to correctness. That I mean by qualifying the claim to correctness as the Archimedean point of my system. Special case thesis also, and deliberative democracy. I have invented this systematization about 1 year ago at a conference in Calabria, and called it ideal dimension pentagon. My friend Stanley Paulson of the St. Louis University in the United States, who always checks my English, said to me, "Robert, you cannot use for this the concept ideal dimension pentagon. Do you know what the pentagon is? If you call it the ideal dimension pentagon, I will never again check your English. But sometimes later, he is we have our office both at the key law faculty. Sometimes later, he said to me, Robert, I have thought so much about your concept of the ideal dimension pentagon. I think you should do that. The Pentagon in Washington, D.C. is a real Pentagon, and we should contrast it with an ideal Pentagon. Therefore, I use today the concept of the ideal Pentagon, dimension Pentagon, as you see it. That's the point. Our concern is legal argumentation. For this reason, we will concentrate on only one of the 5 elements of the ideal dimension pentagon, the special case thesis. The special case thesis, first published in 1978 in my theory of legal argumentation. That is to say, that is my oldest thesis. And during the run of years, I developed the other things. And I needed so much time to bring all these things, not I have this thesis and I have this thesis, no, to bring it in a system. That is now my concern. This thesis, the special case thesis, connects the ideal dimension of legal argumentation with its real dimension. Under the aspect of legal practice, this is the most important connection of the real and ideal dimension of law. The special case thesis unites 2 things. First, general practical discourse, and second, the special features of legal discourse. I start with general practical discourse. General practical discourse is a non-institutionalized, completely free discourse about practical questions, that is, about what is obligatory, forbidden and allowed, or what is good and bad. It comprises, to use the classification of Habermas, moral, ethical and pragmatic arguments. In the theory of legal argumentation, I have attempted to make explicit the conditions of discursive rationality by means of a system of 28 principles, rules, and forms of general practical discourse. This system comprises rules that demand non-contradiction, clarity of language, reliability of empirical premises, and sincerity, as well as rules and forms that speak to the consequences and to balancing, universalizability, and the genesis of normative convictions. The procedural core consists of rules that guarantee freedom and equality in discourse by granting to everyone the right to participate in discourse and the right to question as well as to defend any and all assertions. Discourse theory is confronted with numerous problems. One of them consists in the fact that discourse is not a procedure that always yields just one right answer. To be sure, certain Normative demands are required by discourse theory. The discourse rules give expression to the values of freedom and equality. This serves as a basis for the justification of human rights. Human rights, we have them at the Pentagon too. The ideal Pentagon one is human rights. Human rights can therefore be considered as discursively necessary. This implies that the denial of human rights is discursively impossible. Along with discursive necessity and discursive impossibility, there exists, however, a broad range of what is merely discursively possible. You see, here again, logic can be applied, that is, model logic. A judgment is merely discursively possible when one person can justify his judgment without violating any rule or principle of discourse, while another person at the same time can do the same with respect to the contradictory of this very judgment. In such a case, incompatible judgments are backed by reason. Therefore, the disagreement is, as John Rawls terms it, I quote, a reasonable disagreement. One might call this the problem of practical knowledge. We cannot have a good theory of what is just and unjust, good and bad, without having the problem of practical knowledge. But not everything is problematic. Some things are problematic, some, because both is discursively possible. Then we have discursively necessary things and discursively impossible things. There are people who say everything could be different. There exists nothing. Everything is possible. Many people nowadays. That is wrong, according to discourse theory. And we have people who say, as Ronald Dworkin did, there exists always one right answer. That is as wrong as the fields I just mentioned. Some questions are discursively necessary or impossible. Some questions are merely possible. That is the problem of practical knowledge. The problem of practical knowledge requires that one leaves the stage of general practical discourse defined exclusively by the ideal of correctness, which is first and foremost that of justice, and proceed to a second stage where legally regulated procedures first guarantee the achievement of a decision, that all the decisions is achieved, and second, provide for their enforcement. Decision and coercion enter. Okay. This is a step to positivity as defined by authoritative issuance and social efficacy. The insufficiency of the ideal dimension qua decision procedure necessitates as its complement the existence of the real, that is, the positive dimension of law. This necessity stems from the moral requirement of avoiding the costs of anarchy and civil war and achieving the advantages of social coordination and cooperation. One might assume that the necessity of positivity implies positivism. there are indeed, I add this to my text, there are indeed some persons who say that Alexy is a positivist. Okay, according to the rules of discourse, everybody can say what he wants. It is not forbidden by the rules of rationality and discourse to say this. This, however, the last sentence before, one might assume that the necessity of positivity implies positivism. This, however, would be incompatible with the claim to correctness. To be sure, the necessity of positivity implies the correctness of positivity. But the correctness of positivity has by no means an exclusive character. To grant to positivity an exclusive character would be to underestimate the fact that the claim to substantial correctness, that is, first and foremost, the claim to justice, I say it now the third time, does not vanish once law is institutionalized. It remains alive behind and in the law. For this reason, one has to distinguish two stages or levels of correctness. First order correctness, and you can already see what I say now, second order correctness. First order correctness refers only to the ideal dimension, that is, to the ideal, not institutionalized discourse. It concerns justice as such. Second order correctness is more comprehensive. It refers both to the ideal and to the real dimension. That is to say, that it concerns justice as well as legal certainty. Legal certainty, however, can be achieved only by means of positivity. This reference to positivity is the reason for the special character of legal discourse. The special cases. And that, I added here to my text, makes us as jurists special. We have to be very careful with what is positivized, institutionalized, but nevertheless we are concerned with the positivity of law, but at the same time we are concerned with justice. And that has to be, to say, if someone says, I want legal certainty as well as justice, it's nice, but now we must elaborate a clear model of it. Then we have real theory. The necessary reference to positivity implies three commitments. First, a commitment to statutes. Second, a commitment to precedents. And third, a commitment to ruling legal doctrines. All three commitments bind legal argumentation on social facts. They do this, however, with rather different intensity. The commitment to statutes is the strongest commitment. The commitment to ruling doctrines is the weakest one. And the commitment to precedents lies in the middle. These three commitments are expressed by the special principles, rules, and forms of legal discourse. There's the rules and forms of general practical discourse, the pure ideal dimension, and the rules and form of legal discourse, which add to the ideal dimension, the real dimension. The rules and forms of legal discourse cannot be elaborated here, it would take too much time. Only one point is in our context of interest. If the dual nature thesis of law is true in legal argumentation, none of the three commitments, statutes, precedent, and ruling doctrines, none of the three commitments has an absolute character. Notwithstanding their rather different binding character, all must give room for general practical arguments, or if you want, tomorrow arguments. These general practical arguments, however, are arguments stemming from law's ideal dimension. They refer not to the real dimension of positivity, but to substantive correctness, especially to justice and human rights. Last section. Habermas, the title of the last section is Habermas' Objection. Habermas has raised a series of objections against my special case thesis. They cannot be discussed here. Here only his argument shall be considered that the special case thesis gives judiciary so much power that democratic legitimacy is in danger. I quote now, make a long quotation of Habermas. Once the judge is allowed to move in the unrestrained, that is Habermas. Once the judge is allowed to move in the unrestrained space of reason, that such a general practical discourse offers a red line that marks the division of powers between courts and legislation becomes blurred. In view of the application of the particular statute, the legal discourse of the judge should be confined to the set of reasons that legislators either in fact have put forward or at least could have mobilized for the parliamentary justification of this norm. Still Habermas. The judge and the judiciary in general would otherwise gain or appropriate a problematic independence from those bodies and procedures that provide the only guarantee for democratic legitimacy, and of the Habermas quotation. My reply rests on 2 points. The first is that the special case thesis by no means represents, as Habermas puts it, a blanket permission to move in the unrestricted space of reasons of general practical discourse. On the contrary, the special case includes a prima facie priority of authoritative reasons. This prima facie priority, which is a necessary element of the second order correctness, finds inter alia its expression in the following rule of legal discourse to be found already 1978 in the theory of legal argumentation. I have some things in my theory which I had not to change, but also many things which I have to change radically. But this is a point which remains the same from 1978 in the theory of legal argumentation. I quote, if you allow, I quote myself. Okay. Arguments which give expression to a link with the actual words of the law or the will of the historical legislator take precedence over other arguments unless rational grounds can be cited for granting precedence to the other arguments. End of the quotation. The second point, I'm on the last page. It is only a half page. The second point concerns Habermas' proposal that the judge, I quote him again, should be confined to the set of reasons that legislators either in fact have put forward or at least could have mobilized for the parliamentary justification. End of the quotation. The actual intention of the legislator is indeed a highly relevant reason bearing on the interpretation of the statute. But often there are difficulties in recognizing it, or it is vague or inconsistent. The hypothetical intention of the legislator, about which Habermas always also talks, on the other hand, is a highly problematic construction. It comes close to an invitation to mask the judge's intention as a hypothetical intention of the legislator. Here, undisguised general practical argument seems to be preferable. Habermas tries to enhance the impact of the authoritative dimension of law in order to strengthen democracy. The 2 points, and democracy belongs to the Pentagon, the ideal Pentagon. The 2 points just made show, however, first, that the special case thesis offers no compelling reason for such an attack, and second, that the alternative Habermas proposes is not really an alternative at all. The special case thesis, and last sentence, the special case thesis alone makes it possible to strike an adequate balance between the ideal and the real dimension of law in the area of legal argumentation. Thank you very much for listening.